Good teams win, great teams cover. West Virginia gets off to a slow start against former Big East rival Georgetown, pulls away in the second half. And I think the answer to the question in this game, are they ready to be called a tournament team? I say yes. Talk about it on this episode of Locked On West Virginia.
You are Locked On West Virginia, your daily podcast on the West Virginia Mountaineers, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
What is up, guys, and welcome back in. My name is Mountaineer Paul. I'm the host, and this is Locked On West Virginia, brought to you by FanDuel, guys. You can get started with a big return on FanDuel this season. Just new customers place a $5 bet. You'll get started with 150 in bonus bets. That's if you win that first $5 bet. Visit FanDuel.com to get started. It's pretty simple stuff. Thanks for making Locked On West Virginia your first listen, guys. Hey, look. Thanks for being part of the Locked On Podcast Network. We talk about your team every single day. It was ugly in the first half and ugly in portions of the second half. I think Georgetown played their game in the first half, a slowed down pace. They've got bigs. They're tough down low. They were getting a lot of second chance opportunities. Thomas Sorber was extremely impressive as a freshman. Man, Ed Cooley hit the lottery getting him just as a top 50 player out of the portal. Just incredible player. That guy's only like 20 or 30 spots lower than our guy JP, Jonathan Powell. So he hit the lottery, man. You know, imagine if Powell was playing that good. But Powell, at least he hit a shot tonight. He's hit a wall, but I think he'll be okay. He played some pretty good defense tonight, and I think he'll be okay. The big three that we need to be productive on this team, I think we really have a big four, but as long as we can get three of the four to be productive in any given game, we're going to be fine. Javon Small continues to play at an all-American level, not all Big 12, not all second-team Big 12, all-American, 26-5-3. Tucker gives you 15-7-3. Sincere Harris played really, really good defense today. He gives you 6 points. He gives you 9 rebounds, guys. That's what you would get from any big. 4 assists from Sincere Harris, who, look, he had a couple bad plays in the first half, and it's easy to focus on them. But, man, Sincere Harris really started – I think once the game slows down from him, he's got a high basketball IQ. He really does. It's just that he's so sped up, in my opinion, and I know what that's like as a basketball player. It can really get in the way of yourself. You can get in the way of yourself. Toby Okani chipped in with 11-2-2. I thought he was solid. I wish Toby would be getting more aggressive. I really do. And he drives it into the lane. He's bigger and stronger than a lot of guys, and it causes opportunities, whether that's to kick it out or to shoot it. Toby Okani, man, I just think he needs to be more aggressive. And look, this is the conversation we had about him over the summer. He needs to be aggressive, and we just haven't seen that yet, except for a couple games. Definitely shout out to Eduardo Andre. In a game where Amani Hansberry wasn't going to be as effective because he wasn't hitting his shot, right? So bringing Sorber out from the rim wasn't really helping as much. So Andre came in and just defended the hell out of the rim. One of the best blocks of the year so far. What about the block between Okani and Sincere Harris, guys? The double block. That was incredible, guys. That was like a Sports Center highlight type deal. This is an athletic team, guys. I think people thought Georgetown may be the more athletic team, but they're not, right? So interesting on that aspect of things. This is a fun team to watch. And we may only go 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 guys deep on some nights, which is, throughout the season, you want to play 11, 12 guys, at least 10. So that you're not killing your team. In the tournament, you want to whittle that down to about an 8-man rotation, right? And West Virginia is probably going to be stuck at that 8-man rotation most of the year until Jaden Stone comes back and gives us another body on the wing. And I think where he'll help is So what teams are able to do right now, the reason they're able to, you see how they're so aggressive when Javon Small comes off screens, the big usually flashes out and puts a lot of pressure on Javon and interrupts what he's got going on to one side. That's because we don't have another guard on the other side that's capable of scoring. Sincere Harris is not an offensive player, obviously. So we don't, that's why KJ has to come in from time to time to give us the extra ball handler. And unfortunately, size wise, he can be at a disadvantage on defense sometimes. So it'll be interesting to see what happens when Stone gets healthy, if he gets healthy anytime soon. And I'm excited about that because this is a good basketball team, guys. It really is. I think we're a tournament team. I was looking at it. This team they shoot the ball well. We hit 45% again tonight, 9 3-pointers, which is, probably right around our average for the year. Especially if you subtract that Pitt game, 34% a little lower than we would like to be. I think we'd like to get up towards 37, 38, maybe 39. Look, we wanted to get to the free throw line, 12 to 13, which is 92%. And somehow, some way, we won the rebounding margin again in a game. This is the second straight game that I've seen us lose the early rebounding margin. Darren DeVries gets in everybody's hind end, and we kick it into gear and win the rebounding margin against, look, Georgetown has two 6'11 guys and a 6'10 guy that they rotate. And we won the rebounding matchup 36 to 33. They got one more offensive rebound than us, 10 to 9. Defensive rebounds were 27 to 23 our way. We had more assists. We had more points off turnovers. We had more blocks. We had more steals. We had less turnovers. And the fouls were relatively even, but they had a couple more. Yes, I do think Sorber was getting, in foul trouble was a key in the game, but that guy made it sound like Georgetown would have won were he in the game all the time. And I just don't know if that's 100% the case. Certainly it would have been closer. But, I mean, that guy, if they weren't talking about Georgetown today, they weren't going to be talking at all, were they? It was obviously a pretty pro Georgetown broadcast, no doubt about it, which kind of sucks. It definitely kind of sucks. Up next on Locked On West Virginia, guys, let's just talk about Rich Rod. I think that's why everybody's here. This is a basketball show, but let's talk about Rich Rod. This is Locked On West Virginia, baby. I'm pushing the wrong buttons and everything here. This episode of Locked On West Virginia is brought to you by Mint Mobile. I love a great deal as much as the next guy, especially like a discounted rate, like if Rich Rod were to come in at $2 million a year, $3 million a year. But I'm not going to crawl through a bed of hot coals just to save a few bucks. It has to be easy, no hoops, no BS. So when I see Mint Mobile and they say they've got a $15 a month plan, my ears pricked up and I listened. With the purchase of a 3-month plan, I called them on it. It turns out it really is that easy to get wireless for $15 a month. The longest part of the process was the time I spent on hold waiting to break up with my old provider, T-Mobile. To get started, go to mintmobile.com/lockedoncollege. There you'll see that right now all 3-month plans are for only $15 a month, including the unlimited plan. All plans come with high-speed data and unlimited talk text delivered on the nation's largest 5G network. You can use your own phone with any Mint Mobile plan and bring your own phone number. You can have all your contacts. Find out how easy it is to switch to Mint Mobile and get 3 months premium wireless service for $15 a month. $45 upfront payment is required, guys, which is $15 a month equivalency. New customers are on the first 3-month plan only, guys, so you got to be a new customer. Speed slower than or above 40 gigs on the unlimited plan could cost for additional fees, taxes, and restrictions. Do apply. See Mint Mobile for details. Rich Rod just scored another touchdown, baby. Now, babe, wake up. Rich Rod's dominating the championship game. Jacksonville State pouring it on Western Kentucky, a team that just beat them 6 days ago, 35-6. He just wins, man. He just wins. And I got to say, I hope Ren's watching that game tonight. Now, is beating Western Kentucky in the grand scheme of things all that impressive? No, not usually. But when you do it with an FCS roster converting over, yes, it is. What he's doing is impressive. It's a different level of competition, but he's doing it with an FCS roster, half that roster is still FCS players. He's taken a year to get it kind of right, but I mean, he's competing right away with a team that was just playing in the FCS 2 years ago. So to me, that's impressive. 35-6, man. Unbelievable stuff. And mediocre would not describe Rich Rod, considering he's won pretty much everywhere he's been except for Michigan. That includes Arizona. He's winning now. He'll win if he comes to West Virginia, flat out. Whether you like it or lump it, don't want to see it, he would. Now, do I think he's going to come to West Virginia? I've always said I have a feeling that Ren's not going to pull that trigger. But I'll continue to advocate for it until we get somebody else, man. You can call it nostalgia. You can call it blinders. Call it what you want, but I want what I want. I want the coach that me and my dad used to sit and talk about when he was alive to be the coach. Again, I do. And look, it's not like he's coming out of retirement. He's playing in a championship game right now. Call it what you will, but he is. And, he went 8-1 down the stretch and made this team a winner. And a team he just lost to 6 days ago, he's beaten by 30. 6 days later, that's coaching. If Neil Brown had to play Kansas State again, do you guys think he would win that game? The team that dominated us in the second half? Because I don't, I don't think he's capable of it because he never believed we could win in the first place. He said as much today. There was more I wanted to say on that today, but I was so aggravated that I didn't say it all. But some of the things he said today just makes me wonder, obviously you never had the belief in your players or something. Some of the things, this is why he would say things like that. At least the weather's nice, or at least we're not 0-10, all that. I mean, it's just wild, man. You can disagree. The numbers say different. I mean, he's winning right now. He's winning right now. So, and look, at the end of the day, you give a guy like Rich Rodriguez the resources, and people will say, well, Pat McAfee and Ken Kendrick will support us either way. They might, but they won't support us with the enthusiasm that they would have otherwise, in my opinion, and from what I've heard. And you actually stand a small chance to turn a guy like McAfee off if you hire the wrong guy. Now, should it be the only reason you hire somebody, Kendrick and McAfee? No. But it should be at least 30-40% of the equation, at least. Does he win? Can he win at West Virginia? Yes, he can. You're going to give him top 3 resources now? He's never had that. He had it, he was at Michigan for 3 years, guys. Say what you will about the Michigan stay. He still only had 3 years in an era where coaches got at least 4 years to do anything. And 30 player or however many players it was transferred in year 2. So and then he played it there. Obviously, he got Arizona to be a winner with less resources and tradition than even West Virginia has. So I have no doubt that if he comes to West Virginia and you give him the resources, we'll win. And I hope it plays out that way. But if he doesn't come to West Virginia, I'll go to my grave thinking that it would work, So that's kind of where I'm at with it, guys. Glenn Schumann would be a great pick too, guys. I'm not saying listen, there's a couple guys that I can concede to if it's not Rich, obviously. Kolnicki excites me. Schumann excites me. Garrett Riley excites me, but I think he may be out. Don't quote me on that, but I read something about that today on a couple of different places that maybe he's out. Obviously, Odom is in play, and he seems to be a strong contender, although I don't really agree. I think he's shown what he is. He's middling. You want to talk about middling? There's middling, right? He was already 500 at Missouri. So But yeah, so and look, Missouri Drinkowitz has won there now, and they won before Odom came into play. So I think it's not like nobody's ever won there. But yeah, so we'll see what happens in Odom's championship game. I don't even know if they're playing yet. They play tomorrow, so uh, if they win tomorrow, some people, at least the thought is, if they end up in the playoff, that's going to screw up the timeline, which falls back to look. Ren Baker said, "Look, I think multiple guys can do the job, right? And it has to match up with their timeline, our finances, and." Now that I think about that, I don't know if that's actually true. I think it is for West Virginia basketball, but they're playing right now on Fox. Okay, thank you. I got to keep an eye on that. I didn't know. I thought maybe they played tomorrow. Let me check that score. Okay, let's see what they're doing right now. Oh, they're getting dominated. They're getting dominated by Boise. Criminy, please don't let him be a candidate. Yeah, let's pick the guy that lost his championship game. He's getting dominated by Boise State, 21-0. Yeah, that's who we want as our coach coming in the door. The guy that just absolutely smashed by Boise. Get out of here. Anyway, Odom looks like what I was really hoping for and going to happen. It looks like Barry Odom's going to lose his championship game unless there's a big comeback, and he's not gonna be in the playoff, which means he'll be able to interview and possibly get the job. As a matter of fact, if I had to bet on somebody with money, he'd be the one I bet on that gets the job, or Jeff Monken, one of the two. I don't know that to be fact. It feels like that's where it's headed over the last couple of days. I'm nobody, in this search. I'm just like you guys. I think I think he, somebody's asking in the chat, is Jimbo still a candidate? I do not think he is. Everything I've heard today from sources are saying no. That the background part of the interview process, where you look at people's background, like how do they treat people? Hey, how was he when he worked for you? Did not go well. And look, I had Locked On Aggies on my show, and what did he say? His exact words were, Jimbo Fisher's a terrible person, and people I've worked with for years that I trust, media people, say that he's not a good person. I think that's come back to bite him in this search when Ren Baker puts that way up there. Now, you could also make the case that Rich Rod isn't the best person based off his past. He's 61 now, and I'm sure he's changed. But sleeping with your secretary and getting into a court battle with your former school is not a great way to possibly be in their good graces 20 years down the line. So there's a lot of moving parts with this, guys. But let's hope these championship games have some impact on Ren's decision. Just like he was taking in data points and info all the way up through Neil Brown's Texas Tech game. Let's hope he's doing it. Let's keep that same energy, Ren, for this search, please. That's all we ask. Up next, guys, we'll talk a little bit more about this search, and then we'll go home for the night. This is Locked On West Virginia. And this episode is brought to you in part by FanDuel, guys. Get ready to tackle NFL action with FanDuel, America's #1 sports book, because right now new customers can bet $5 and get 150 in bonus bets. That's if you win. FanDuel Sportsbook app gives you everything you need to place live bets on the NFL all in one place. When you get a hunch in the middle of the game, you can check on the latest stats, view live play-by-play, and so much more on the same page you place your bets. You just visit FanDuel.com to get started or to join. You'll get started with 150 in bonus bets. Don't forget, if you win that first $5, that's at FanDuel.com. Never waste a hunch and make every moment more with FanDuel, an official sportsbook partner of the National Football League. And I'm back. So, got to give props to Darren DeVries, man. I don't think you could script a better start. 38-6 now, Rich Rod, by the way. just outcoaching Tyson Hilton. Just bent him over and spanked him into oblivion tonight. That's what he deserves, baby. Let's go, Rich Rod. 73-60, West Virginia covers in a win over Georgia Tech. Javon Small, the player of the year for West Virginia right now. Tucker DeVries, timely threes. Andre at the rim for protecting the rim, big fella. And then you just get rebounding help from the entire roster. Sincere Harris on the boards with 9 boards tonight, 6 points and 4 assists. Unsung hero of the day. Javon Small with another 5 rebounds. Tucker DeVries with another 7 rebounds. 15, 3, and 7. 26, 5, and 3 from Javon. 11, 2, and 2 from Toby. Amani Hansberry had a rough game tonight, even though he started great with the catching, with the first shot of the game. He'll be better down. I have no doubt that Hansberry will play better as we go. So I'm proud of this team, guys. Hope you are too. And I'll tell you what, man. I think this team's a tournament team. You look at their this is what I was going to say really quick before we get off here. If you look at West Virginia's schedule and how it lines up now, so this is a 6-2 team, right? NC Central, you have to assume you're going to win 7-2. Bethune-Cookman, you should win 8-2. Mercyhurst should be 9-2. You should be 9-2 going into Kansas, possibly ranked. I don't know. I think West Virginia can win that game, especially after looking how Kansas looked today. We'll see. Oklahoma State, Arizona. Look, that's a rematch. It'll be fun. But you're looking about, let's say they lose to Kansas 9-3, 10-3. And depending on Arizona, you could be 11 to 12 wins in by the time you get to Colorado, Houston, and Iowa State, which you need to win that Colorado game going into those. But this team's going to be around that 18 to 20 win range, if not better. I think they're going to be right there. And their resume, because of what they did in Maui, is going to be really good because they beat Gonzaga in Arizona. And Arizona will be a tournament team by the time the year is over. They had a rough tournament, but don't count them out. They got good players, As a matter of fact, I wouldn't be surprised if they played extremely well against us on January 7th when we're at home. They're going to come in and play their asses off that day. You better believe that. Rich Rod's just scored again, 38-6, guys. Man, he's really putting on the audition of a lifetime, right? I mean, he is. Let's hope he does it, guys. I know there's a few of you that don't want him, but here's all I ask. We may not always agree on who should be coach here, guys. That's okay. There's no reason to stop listening or throw a fit and leave because we don't agree on something, This is a tired argument, Brandon. If Rich Rod wasn't from West Virginia, an outsider, I would say no, but he is a fellow West Virginian. Like, why would we forgive anyone? Like family, why wouldn't we forgive anyone and give a shot? Okay, I thought you were going to go with a few people have said if he wasn't from West Virginia, would he even be looked at for the job? But that's a silly argument to me because he's already won at West Virginia before. So it's not really the same because if you're any other job, obviously he's never been there before and you wouldn't know how he would translate. He's also 61, and he's also got some history. And he doesn't have the donor help or backing that he has at West Virginia. Like you've got the Diamondbacks owner and a billionaire and Pat McAfee, who's up in the hundreds of millionaires or close to it, probably worth $100 million now or close, that's backing you. And he can offer you tens of millions of dollars in media exposure. So that doesn't come with Rich Rod anywhere else. So I want people to stop using that. If he wasn't from West Virginia, that single thing is the reason he's such a candidate for us. And I don't understand why people don't understand that. So, all right, guys, that's all I got for tonight. Keep coming back. It works if you work it. You'll die if you don't. It's a fact, I swear. West Virginia Mountaineers played well tonight, man. I'm really proud of this basketball team and what grit and determination they continue to show, especially in second halves of games. And Javon Small is a shot maker. We can't afford to lose him. I think we need to figure out a way to get him some rest. But until then, guys, I'm proud of the team. Let's watch this coaching search over the weekend. Things are going to develop fast over the next couple of days. We'll know something soon. Probably not going to be who most of us want with Rich Rod, but at least we give it our best shot, right? Until tomorrow, guys, I'll be live especially if there's any updates. I'll see you tomorrow, guys. Thanks for joining. This episode's over, and I'm out.